What is up, everyone? It is Aaron with Aaron's Aquatics, and today I've got something big to share with you. If you've been following me on Instagram or Discord, you'd already know what's going on since I like to share and talk with people all the time, even if it's not on one of my normal videos. For those of you who don't follow me outside of YouTube, let's just say the 250-gallon reef system is getting a huge makeover. All right. So as many of you already know, I'm a huge SPS head. I love sticks. I love sticks. They're colorful. They act as a challenge to grow and thrive. And they have these little tentacles that are basically saying, hey, look at me. I may be a stick, but I'm also fun. So what does me being a stick head have anything to do with the 250-gallon reef system? Well, over the last few months, I've been debating on converting over my system from a mixed reef tank with SPS, LPS, softies to a dedicated Aquapora and Montipora dominant system. Now, don't get me wrong, I love all coral, but some I love more than others. It's starting to sound like some straight Animal Farm shit. It's like the pigs are the Aquapora and they're telling the other farm animals that they're going to get nutrients too, but in reality, it's all for them. What? What the fuck? I will still have some non-SPS in the tank, but the point of this conversion is to set the tank up with SPS in mind, which may mean that other coral will suffer. In those instances, I will be either moving them around in the tank, I can move them over to the clown Harem build, I can trade them, I can sell them, I can give them away. In all cases, they will be properly managed. So what does it mean to convert my tank over to an SPS system? Well, actually, I think a better way of thinking about it is, what does my system not have right now that's preventing optimal SPS growth? And the way I see it, I'm missing 4 core elements: light, flow, real estate, and nutrition. SPS need a ton of light. They need a ton of flow. They need room to grow. And they also need a good amount of nutrition in the form of nitrates, phosphates, and trace elements. Now, if I were to go over all 4 of these topics at once, this video would be an hour long. So I will be addressing all 4 of these in the coming weeks. In today's video, we're going to be looking at 2 of them, and we're going to be covering real estate and flow. To talk about flow and real estate, let's talk about what I see as my problem. In my tank, my Aquascape was built with being a mixed reef tank in mind. This means that while I created high flow areas, I also created low flow and no flow areas for corals who preferred those requirements. For my SPS build, I want to create as many high flow areas as possible with as much surface area as possible to place my Aquapora, frags, and mini colonies. With the idea of flow and surface area in mind, I will begin the conversion process by doing a makeover of my Aquascape. I'm going to be using the majority of my existing rock plus some new rock I purchased from Bulk Reef Supply. Now, I did try and find some Pucani to try and match my existing rock, but unfortunately the rock was literally banned within the last year. Something about destroying the environment for future generations. I don't know. Seems silly, right? The rock I chose to help me with my Aquascape is their Marco's Reef Saver rock. It's the closest to my Pucani in terms of shape. It's on the lighter side, and most importantly, it's cheap. It's like $2 per pound. As a side note, this is the rock I used in my clown Harem build. Alright guys, before we get to actually doing the Aquascape, moving around the rock, the first thing that I want to do is make sure that the coral is protected. That's priority number 1. Priority number 2, make sure the house is protected. I've got my ridiculously colorful Walmart towels that I purchased specifically for this tank. I keep them always on hand. Okay, so let me go ahead and explain exactly what I'm going to be doing with my coral to keep it protected. Now, I don't have any secondary containers like a bucket that I can use to place them in that's prepared. Because of that, I'm just going to be working within the tank. Obviously, if you can remove it from the tank, that's the best case scenario. Some of you won't be able to, so I'm going to be showing you how I would do it if I want to leave the coral inside of the tank. Now, some of them are going to be easy. Some of them are going to be a little bit more difficult. The ones that I would say that are going to be easy would be things like Euphilia, candy canes, anything that's not encrusted, acans, Recordia, mushrooms, really anything that is not tied down. The ones that are going to be a little bit more difficult, but not too hard, would be something like this Monty cap. The Monty cap is encrusted a tiny bit on the rock, so kind of snapping it off without damaging too much of it won't be that difficult. And I've been planning on doing that for a while because I want to put it against the back wall. But for now, we're just going to be putting it on the sand bed with everything else. What I would qualify as difficult coral to deal with would be some of my encrusted acropora. Now, some of them haven't encrusted, they've only grown vertically. That would be like this piece here. It's encrusted a little bit, but not a whole lot. The deep water acro, that's the largest mini colony that you can see in the back right there. This piece right here, if I could focus a little bit. So those will be easier to get off because they haven't encrusted that much. On the other hand, if you look at these two pieces right here, I apologize for the color, I'm using my point and shoot for this, but these two are fully encrusted, okay? The same could be said with my Montiporas. Anything that has been, that's had a lot of encrusting, it's gonna be difficult to deal with those. Now, my plan for those is, for that archway, I'm gonna keep this intact. I'm going to just move this as one large piece, and it's gonna be incorporated into the aquascape. For some of the other pieces, like this encrusted Monty right here, this is a smaller piece attached to this large unit. I should be able to take all of that off without breaking any of the encrusted parts of the coral.
Great success.
All right, guys, this is where we're at with the tank after taking everything down. That was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I ran out of space real quick, but let me give you a quick rundown to show you what we have. All right, so right here, we have, let me focus this a little bit, the majority of the individual frags. We have some of the larger colonies. The big one here is a deep water acropora. This is a wolverine. Like, we can go over all the details, or you can go look at my past videos. But let me come around here. You can see even more little frag boys. But everyone's pissed off. There's a ton of, like, all that little, the filament, stringy looking things is just slime. Okay, the corals are not happy, but I do have a couple good things. First, the Montipora cap came off really well. There were two chunks that were left behind. One of them is this tiny frag that's sitting right next to one of my bounce mushrooms, and then a small piece that I'll be taking off that was left on the rock. So far, not too bad. But so let's go ahead and go over what hasn't been done yet, and I'll show you kind of what's going on. So this is a red Setosa that is completely encrusted onto the rock. I don't want to deal with it, so we'll deal with that later. This is the Zoa rock. We're going to leave everything on there for now because I don't want to deal with fragging the Zoas. Of course, we have the Montes, the encrusted Acropora, and some more encrusted Acropora with stuff that I can go ahead and deal with later, as well as that Monte and that Zoa. So really, that's about it. The one that I'm really concerned about is this acro right here. As you can see, it's encrusted significantly on the base, and I don't want to lose that encrust, but I think I might have to. So I'm going to go ahead and probably pop that off, unfortunately, and go that direction. By the way, the giant Hollywood stunner chalice that was right there is now right there in the back. It was attached just to that rock, and it came off in one giant piece. So I'm thinking that I may actually take that back to the LFS because honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Maybe it'll color up with the new program that I'm running, but I'll go over that stuff with you guys later. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to aquascaping.
Two 2,000 years later.
All right, guys, finally, I am done with the Aquascape, at least for today. I've done a couple minor tweaks over here, and I have made some major changes over here, as you can obviously tell. Let's go ahead and look at these small things first. I pretty much kept most of this structure intact, primarily because of some of the encrusting bits, and that I also just really liked it. Like, I didn't want to get rid of it, so I thought it was great. The one minor change that I made over on this side was that instead of this piece here going up, I've made it go horizontal. That's going to give me a little bit of extra space over here to work with because it was a little bit too close to the light and it was definitely causing some problems. This is the main structure, right? This is the thing that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's adding surface area. It's allowing me to add additional SPS, Acropora, Montipora, whatever I want. I can add it to this structure. So you can see here, we've got one arch here. We've got some horizontal space up there that I can use, and for any kind of encrusting Montes, we can put along here. The same thing with this one, okay? This is probably the second arch, okay? And on top of it, I have placed a coral that you guys really have not seen in my tank, and that is the cold water Acropora. I believe I got this as a freebie from Aqua SD, but I'll definitely have to, yeah, actually it was definitely Aqua SD. So I'll definitely enjoy seeing it kind of up front because you never saw it because it was behind this piece. That's good story, guys, good story. And then I have a tiny little arch right there, a little small one. I thought it gave it an extra dimension. I'm not entirely sure if I want to keep it, want to remove it. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys want me to remove it or keep it. I'm glad I was able to find a solid location for this Montipora and Zoa combo. These are some Jason Foxzoas, which I always forget the name of. But anyways, so that leads up to another horizontal platform. And then if you have keen eyes, you'll notice that that back platform was from the original Aquascape. And so I reused that to create another arch. So we've got one large arch, one medium arch, one small arch, and then one itty bitty arch party going on right there. Now, as you can see, I have an enormous surface area to work with, and that was a huge part of why I did what I'm doing today. Right now, it's taken up completely by this Hollywood Stunner chalice, which I'm probably going to take and give as store credit to my local fish store or something along those lines, because honestly, it's a little bit too big and I don't much care for it. That's pretty much it. I think I got it super cheap during some kind of anniversary sale, and that's that. Overall, guys, I am really excited with the direction that this tank is taking. I think, I put in a lot of work, a lot of hard work on redoing the Aquascape, and the way that I see it is kind of two things right now. You have a lot of white rock, primarily over here, that I used to create those arches. Eventually, those will get bacteria growth, algae growth, coralline, and coral itself, and so it won't be as white. And based on a couple pieces that I've added in the past, it took about a month, a little less than a month for that to happen, and you'll see the progress of it through the videos in the next couple weeks. The second thing I see happening in the long term, the medium to long term, is that up there on that flat plateau, it's pretty barren, right? And because it's a plateau, it's a little bit flat, a little bit plain. And I'm okay with that. I'm trying to think months. I'm trying to think a year ahead and see where the coral is going to be, right? We're looking at colony size pieces similar to the cold water acro right there, hopefully a little bit bigger. But please, let me know what you guys think of the new Aquascape. The last thing that I want to talk about is the next step in converting this tank into an SPS dominant tank. And that has to do with the lighting. Currently, I have 3 Radeon G4 Pros, XR30s above the tank. Now, there's nothing wrong with LEDs. I love the technology behind it, but I feel with a Aquapora and SPS dominant tank, I'm gonna have some issues with shadowing. So as many of you know, on the 90-gallon Harem tank, I have an LED T5 hybrid, which is something that I had definitely considered when approaching the lighting solution, the new lighting solution for this tank. However, after speaking to a bunch of different people, including my LFS, which has an insane Aquapora tank, I decided to go with a different option. I will talk about that in the future. If you guys want to put your thoughts on what you would do in an SPS tank in terms of lighting, put it in the comment section below. It's a whole nother video. I don't want to get too much into it, but we'll talk about that in the next video because the light should be showing up next week. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I am dirty, I'm sweaty. My hair's, oh God, my hair is a complete mess. I need to go take a shower. I need to go do a bunch of adulting things. I'm really happy with the way the tank turned out. Please let me know in the comment section below if you have any suggestions. Should I move that tiny itty bitty arch? Or remove it completely, do anything with it? If you have any suggestions, comments. Anyways, my name is Aaron. This is Aaron's Aquatics. I will see you guys next time.